Let's talk about From and the Man in Yellow. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I was not part of the Fromly a month ago. I actually just binged the whole show and I'm caught up now. I'm waiting patiently like y'all. And I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Wait a whole year for the next season. But alas, I am here. I'm here with the Fromly. I want to talk about the Man in Yellow. I'll also be doing a theory video on the next episode based on the trailer we just got, because things definitely have gotten to a very interesting dilemma now. So first and foremost, very quick rundown review of From so far. I'm really loving it. I was very skeptical going into the show when I found out it was like a mystery box, Pandora's box type of show, because a lot of the times, they don't really hit. They kind of falter, they kind of fumble a bit, but From been consistent. Everything about it is just incredible, and I am excited to see where we get our answers in the coming season. But I want to talk about the man of the hour right now, or should I say the woman of the hour, Sophia, who is in fact the Man in Yellow. Because this is a very interesting dilemma we see Boyd in the town now, that they have this person that is working undercover to try and destroy them. My question is, how do they figure this out? And I do have my theory on that. But I also want to ask you this question right now because I've seen it pop up and I've thought about it as well. And this, of course, is spoilers for everything that's happened so far because we're caught up to the season. So if you're not caught up to the season, this is a video you'll want to come back to. But since you are, is Tilly the Man in Yellow at some point? And we'll talk about that in a bit. But first, the Man in Yellow, of course, appeared first in a painting that we saw that Miranda had. And, when I started watching the show, I had already heard about the Man in Yellow. I didn't know what the Man in Yellow did. So when I saw this painting in season 3, I was like, the Man in Yellow. But apparently the Man in Yellow also is the one that talked to Jim at Colony House when they built the radio tower and told him that his wife should have not been digging in that hole. And of course, we see at the end of season 3 that Jim is killed by the Man in Yellow as his throat is slashed, and Julie tries to save him by story walking, but is unable to do so. Now, in season 4, we see that the Man in Yellow decides to take a new form, and that form is of Sophia. Sophia is this young girl, and she pretty much is going to make it be like she came here with her dad, who was a pastor, and he eventually died in a car crash. Of course, this is not what happened. The pastor was just driving around. He, of course, came across the tree. Sophia hitchhiked a ride and forced him to have a seizure, making him crash, and eventually also kills him. So now she's kind of like inside of the town, and she has infiltrated, and she says that the favorite part of this man is about to come. We see the whole town is going to tear each other apart. And that's what made a lot of people believe that maybe we've had the Man in Yellow already here at some point in the form of Tilly. Because as we know, Tilly kind of went off the deep end a little bit towards the end of the previous season when Fatima was pregnant, and Fatima inadvertently killed her, causing her to run, eventually leading to the little smiley man right there being reborn. And it could be, in fact, the Man in Yellow who made these people do the first pact, the first sort of like ritual where we kind of believe now that the people that are out here killing everybody were in fact at some point human. They decided to do a ritual where they would be able to be granted the right to live forever. But in return, they had to sacrifice their children. And the children, of course, the Ankui, were the ones that were sacrificed for this, people to live forever. But now they live forever as monsters. And the Man in Yellow seems to be sort of like that same monster of sorts, right? Because this man, we know from Victor, was the one who eventually came into the town when everybody was killed and died when Victor was a young child, and ate them, as we see when Julie story walks. This man seems to be at the forefront, and there is a popular theory that I kind of believe as well, is that the Man in Yellow might have been the first one to sacrifice that child, and that child is the boy in white. And that would make a lot of sense if that were true. I think that the Man in Yellow is probably either the first one that sacrificed his child, or it could be that the Man in Yellow is sort of a demon, dark entity of sorts that the townspeople found and eventually sort of worshipped, and this person or entity told them like, hey, I'll grant you this power, but you have to give me your children. And it might have not been worded that way, I think, because it seems that a lot of what this new season and show is pushing as of late is trying to remember. And maybe the townspeople creatures here, they need to remember what exactly happened. Maybe they were sort of brainwashed of sorts didn't know they were giving up their children, and the only way to stop what's happened here now is to remember what they did to the children, and thus the spell is sort of broken from the man in yellow. Who knows? But it seems that the man in yellow is really here because they are getting closer to the truth of what it all means and is trying to stop this. And that's because I think once the truth is uncovered, everything is going to stop. The spell that this man has put on everybody around him and the town for all of these years, it'll be over and things will go back to normal and everybody can go home, and maybe these creatures and the children themselves will finally rest in peace. And I think that's why we see that this is the moment he is trying to be a cog in the machine, where he is going to be trying to be as reckless as possible to cause confusion, to cause harm, to cause everybody to just run around in circles yet again, and thus be that much further away from the truth, because the truth will set them free. Elgin at one point says at some point the truth will come out, and I think that the man in yellow knows this, but he wants to stall it as much as possible because he sort of feeds from all of this going on. Now, how do I think that people are going to discover who the man in yellow is? Well, I think that's where Julie's power will come into play in the coming episodes, because we've already seen that Julie was able to go back in time to when the man in yellow was feasting on the residents when Victor was a child. Could Julie be able to story walk not just to Jim's death, of course we saw it already, but also to the point when the man in yellow turns into Sophia, see this and eventually let everybody know, and that's pretty much what we have here. Now, the thing with the man in yellow is that he has these supernatural abilities, so he could pretty much put a stop to this. So this is going to be a very difficult antagonist for the From team to go up against, and I just don't see how they come out of it. I do have a theory video I want to do for the next episode, because I think that's going to be a very, very important episode. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell to know when that video drops before Sunday. And then on Sunday, once we watch the next episode, we'll break it down. We'll be doing From breakdowns weekly now. I'm going to bring back also another show, so stay tuned for that. It's a lot of shows out. We also have some movies we have reviews for, so if this is your first time on the channel, I cover other stuff, mainly horror and all of that, and I do love to talk about everything going on in pop culture. So hit the subscribe button, notification bell, follow us wherever you can, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions on the man in yellow. I'll do a bigger breakdown of the man in yellow and all of that after the next episode, because I feel like we'll get more information then, so stay tuned for that. But as always, stay safe, stay positive.